Today's super fast recipe features chicken breast, one of the quickest things to cook and everybody's favorite, right? It's chicken with tomatoes and feta. Super fast. It's a combination of sauteing and baking and broiling. It seems like a lot of things, but it's actually quite simple. And of course, I'm starting off by building my flavor base by mincing an onion. You got it. So just mince up one small onion. About 3/4 of a cup is a perfectly acceptable amount of onion for this dish. Mince 3 cloves of garlic. One of the keys to having dishes that take very little time to cook is choosing ingredients that are going to give a lot of flavor. And then obviously picking main ingredients that cook quickly, like a chicken breast or shrimp or shellfish, cook really, really fast. You just want to saute your onions and garlic a little bit in some olive oil. So heat up a pan, add your oil. Just gonna assume it's 2 tablespoons, I'm not even sure. Add the garlic and onions and cook them until they're translucent. While you're cooking your onions and garlic, you can get your tomatoes ready. ABP it up, peeps. Let it saute for about 5 minutes. Not gonna turn it too high because I don't want it to burn while I'm cutting up my tomatoes. You wanna coarsely chop 5 plum tomatoes. Remove the core and then just coarsely chop your tomatoes. So you don't have to be too exacting because it's gonna cook down into a sauce. And if your tomatoes are kind of underripe, if you can't find ripe tomatoes, just go ahead and use a can of whole peeled tomatoes and chop those up. It's more important to have good tomatoes than to have fresh tomatoes. Add your tomatoes to your skillet and then you want to cook them down until they start making a sauce. That should take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes depending on your tomatoes and your heat, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to turn my heat up to high now that I've added all that moisture. My garlic will be protected from burning. At this point you want to season. You have a little bit of salt. I'm also going to season my chicken breasts at this point. I have 4 boneless, skinless chicken breast halves. Season the chicken with salt. You can season one side and then season the other side when you put the chicken in. ABP means always be prepping it. Also, always be prepared. Be prepared to add that chicken. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Oh, Lordy. I'm just going to go ahead and add my chicken now. I'm just laying mine in salted side down so I can season the second side. You want to make sure your pan is big enough to hold them all in a single layer. Sort of nestle them down into the tomatoes. The tomatoes don't need to be completely broken down at this point because this is going to go into a 450-degree oven for about 17 minutes. Season the second side and then 450 degrees for about 17 minutes. You just want your chicken just cooked through, so if you're using an instant read thermometer, it should read about 155, 160 in the thickest part. My oven only has 1 rack in it, so I'm going to move it to the top because I need to use the broiler and then preheat the broiler. If you have 2 racks, just put 1 in the bottom and 1 in the top for this dish. Sprinkle with 4 ounces of crumbled feta over the top while your broiler is heating. And then you just put this back into the broiler for a couple minutes, just until the cheese sort of starts bubbling and getting brown. You don't really want to cook the chicken anymore. Spoon a little bit of the tomato on top. Little basting. Back in the broiler for a couple minutes. Use 2 pads because it's pretty heavy. You don't want to burn yourself super hot. Just because it has a little bit of a Greek inflection, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of dill over the top for a little bit of waftability, fragrance, and deliciousness. Now what you have in your pan here is a little sauce. It's a little bit brothy, tomatoey, garlicky, little saltiness from the feta and a little aromaticness from the dill. Let the aromas entice everybody into the kitchen. Bring it to the table right in its pan, let the wafting begin, and enjoy your under 30-minute dinner. You're really gonna like this. You can serve it over pasta, over rice, your choice. I mean, it's always your choice. You don't have to do everything I tell you, you know. But you really should, including making this dish.